Screen 1 is the lively meeting between East Midlands and West Midlands. Derby suffered at Spurs last Saturday, while Birmingham had only 1 point from 3 games so far. Both were desperate for a win today, and it showed. Portsmouth had lost all 8 Premier League meetings with Chelsea. But if anyone was capable of pulling a rabbit out of a hat, it was Harry Redknapp. New boy Giuliano Belletti featured for the Blues. It's on Screen 2. On Screen 3, little Sammy's Bolton started the day rock bottom and were the only team without a point. So a win was vital against a Reading team who'd made light of a difficult start. Casey Keller was back in the Premier League on Screen 4. He made his Fulham debut in what proved to be a dramatic game against an Aston Villa side looking for a first win of the season. On Screen 5, we're at Upton Park. A loss and a win so far sums up West Ham these days. They faced a Wigan side who'd already topped the table this season. Screen 6, Sunderland came crashing down to earth last time out at Wigan. Today was their biggest test so far, as they played host to a Liverpool side with genuine title aspirations, but without Steven Gerrard. And on 7, our game of the day, Arsenal against Manchester City, from the Emirates, with action guaranteed at both ends. The interactive part of Football First starts at 10:15. That's when you need to press the red button on your remote and then choose the appropriate match number. But you can chop and change between the matches by pressing the backup button. There'll be plenty more reminders of the match menu throughout the programme. Now, if you're a Sky Plus viewer and want to record your team's match, go to Football First on your TV guide, press the select button and then choose the match you want to record and press the R button. Later on, John Salako will join me to talk us through the day's play. First to our game of the day. Manchester City had been the only team with a perfect Premier League start. Today, they travelled to Arsenal, hoping for 4 wins out of 4. The Gunners, meanwhile, were out to prove they could maintain a title challenge, despite the loss of their talisman, Thierry Henry. The team news. Arsene Wenger made 4 changes from the side that drew with Blackburn. Manuel Almunia replaced the injured Jens Lehmann. With William Gallas out, Gilberto pressed back into duty after Philippe Senderos got injured in the warm-up. Thomas Rosicky replaced Theo Walcott, who was left out of the squad. Emmanuel Adebayor made his first appearance of the season. Sven-Göran Eriksson made 2 changes to the side that won the Manchester derby. Emil Mpenza replaced last week's match winner Giovanni, who dropped to the bench. Stephen Ireland came in for the injured Valery Bozhinov. Commentary comes from former Scotland international Davy Provan and Rob Hawthorne.
It's the 21st Premier League meeting of Arsenal and Manchester City. And it's a year tomorrow since City won their only one. A Joey Barton penalty settled that match at Eastlands. But the way things have run for City this season, who knows what might happen here. It certainly is an intriguing clash.
Yeah, I think we'll all be interested to see how they handle this latest hurdle, Rob, but it's been a remarkable start for Manchester City. I think any football club that brings in a new owner, a new manager, and a raft of new players, you do expect teething problems, but they really have hit the ground running.
Settled much quicker than expected in the season, but can they in the match here? Clichy going at them. Fell just behind Van Persie. It was unlucky for him, and then he and Fleb got in each other's way. This is Martin Petrov, one of the new faces who seems to have settled down admirably. And Penza trying to cushion a header into the path of Stephen Ireland, who suddenly found himself submerged by 3 Arsenal players.
Flamini did really well there with the defensive run. It was a lovely little layoff from Mpenza. Stephen Ireland was in support, and it was a tracking run of Flamini that snuffed out the danger there. And that's what we'll see from City today. The moment Elano is pushed right up beside Mpenza, but I think as the game settles, he'll drop off a little bit and leave Mpenza on the shoulder of Arsenal's last defender, whoever that may be.
Well, Kasper Schmeichel has won a lot of plaudits for keeping 3 clean sheets, but I'm sure he would be the first to admit that the likes of Dunn and Richards in front of him have had a big part to play in that as well. They were outstanding against United last week. Richards here finds Garrido, and this is Petrov. Good interception by Touré. Michael Richards, who carried on his good club form when playing for England in the week. Kasper Schmeichel was away on Danish under-21 duty. Clearance by Clichy. That's Chorluka, the Croatian, underneath it. Clichy. Manuel Almunia. And this is Sagna. Kolo Touré. Adebayor's made a run along the line that's been tracked by Richard Dunn, but Schmeichel came and Schmeichel conquered.
I think he did the right thing, heading it as well, Rob. I think had he caught it, his momentum would have taken him outside the box. Good decision.
Adebayor. Here's Clem. It's backed by Fabregas. This is Sagna. Matteo Flamini quickly under pressure from Milano. He's managed to resist that. This is Alexander Clem. Too much on it for Cesc Fabregas.
Well, it's a pity it's overhit because he's in a good position there, Fabregas. City were deep enough to play him onside, and the weight of the ball was just a little bit too heavy. It's a long ball for Adebayor, breaking into the inside right channel, and Schmeichel made the right decision, not for the first time this season.
He may still have his doubters, Kasper Schmeichel. He's maybe not as physically imposing as his father, and that's the difficulty he'll always face, being compared with the legend that was Peter Schmeichel. But his dad let in 6 goals in his first 3 Premier League games. Kasper Schmeichel has let in none. That's Sagna. Michael Johnson. Off the knee of Bakary Sagna. Richard Dunn's header, on by Micah Richards. That was Flamini. Rosicky won it, challenged robustly by Chorluka, and the free kick is given.
Good referee. Allowed the play to develop, but no advantage in it for Arsenal. That's why he's pulled the play back there.
Manuel Adebayor, whose start to the season was delayed by injury. Here's Rosicky. Now Gilberto. This is Kolo Touré. Richard's just caught slightly out of position then. Adebayor with a header back. No foul on Haman by Fabregas. Here's Hleb. Into the path of Robin van Persie, who can hit them, does hit this one. And Schmeichel relieved to see it fly over.
I don't know why Richard Dunn backs off here, because Richards, his defensive partner, is picking up the runner. Richard Dunn backs off. Eventually he goes to the ball, but by that time Van Persie's got a chance to steady himself, and he got plenty of power, and he couldn't quite keep it down, but it's a half chance.
Well, he's already scored in both of the Premier League games so far this season, Robin van Persie. Got one from the penalty spot here against Fulham in their opening match. Got Arsenal's goal in the draw at Ewood Park last weekend. Both the goals Arsenal have conceded this season down to goalkeeping errors. There's a new man between the sticks for them today in Manuel Almunia, whose Premier League opportunities have certainly been limited recently. Only one appearance in the Premier League in the last 2.5 years for today's Arsenal goalkeeper, and that was in a victory over Liverpool. That's Gilberto, who's pressed into action pretty late on because of the ankle injury suffered by Philip Senderos in the warm-up. Arsene Wenger had given Gilberto a break after the Copa America, even though he didn't play in the final, for which he was suspended. Adebayor. The big boot downfield from Richard Dunn. And that's Gilberto's touch to Clichy. Clichy on to Rosicky. Thomas Rosicky. Now Van Persie. This is Hleb. Sagna moves it into Van Persie. It's Sagna again. It's gone behind. It was a pretty build-up from Arsenal.
Yeah, it was good patient build on the right-hand side. Just didn't quite get his right foot around the ball there to get it across the face of goal. But City look very compact, very organised. All the more remarkable, I think, Rob, when you look at the age of this goalkeeper in back four. Richards 19, Schmeichel 20, Luka 21, Garrido 22. And if you throw in Johnson, another 19-year-old, the youth of this City side is quite remarkable.
5 of these City players hadn't played for the club before this season, and yet the new men have just settled in remarkably quickly. Here's Petrov, kept in by Elano. Petrov, Elano, City getting into their stride, and Toure using his strength to keep Elano at bay.
Good defending, but City did well to get him in the first place into the box, and once he's in the penalty area, Toure's tackle had to be spot on, otherwise he's giving away a penalty. Good challenge.
Flamini to Adebayor. Coming together with Garrido, from which the City man benefits with a free kick.
They're just not attempting to play the ball there, Adebayor. A chance for City to put the ball in the box. That's Richard Dunn signalling there. Just wait until I get up there to the edge of the box. Richards has gone forward as well.
Instead, it's played short to Johnson, and now Garrido. Just so that Dunn's move forward wasn't wasted. They find him. Cleared by Sagna to Hleb. Now Toure. Arsenal playing their way out of trouble neatly. Clichy. Now Flamini. Up towards Van Persie. It's Dunn who's back there with a header clear. Nice touch from Mpenza. First time from Petrov. It's Stephen Ireland who's furthest forward. Well covered by Clichy.
That's a good run though from Ireland. Good diagonal run from out to in. Ball was just a little bit too high for him to get under control.
Adebayor's broken too soon, and the flag up against him.
Well, that's the way the City are going to play at the back. They're going to squeeze the game. They have good pace in the central of defence with Richards and Richard Dunn, and they want to play as high as possible, but they will leave themselves exposed to that type of ball in behind.
Here's Elano. Fabregas. Flamini. Van Persie held on to it and finds Clichy. Here's Rosicky. Clichy. Elegant move this from Arsenal. And it's Clichy's cross. Adebayor and Van Persie challenging for it. Flamini came in looking to pick up the pieces. Here's Petrov. Johnson. And he's nudged it through for himself. It's Michael Johnson. Petrov! Good break.
Yeah, it's got to go down as a chance. Michael Johnson at the very heart of it. Arsenal stepped up looking for offside, and Mpenza here you will see runs offside, but it's good refereeing. Because Mpenza doesn't take part in the move, the flag stays down. Eventually Johnson feeds to his left, and again that has to go down as a decent half chance. Petrov hitting with a little bit too much slice, but a very good break nevertheless.
Well, unselfish play from Michael Johnson, who may have had a flashback to that goal he scored against Derby. Chance here for Adebayor, who lined it up for Fabregas, and Arsenal fans will be wondering why Adebayor didn't go for it himself.
Well, Michael Richards screaming at the assistant, looking for offside there. Well, as it's played, yeah, it looks half a yard off to me. It's Garrido, the left back, who's looking across the line. He's quite happy to hold his position. He feels the flag was going to go up.
Well, selfless play in the end from Emmanuel Adebayor, who'd sensed that Fabregas was in a better position. Good even contest, though, so far.
Good stuff, just exactly what we expected, Rob. Arsenal are going to have the lion's share of the ball. There's a bit more danger about this City side these days, and there'll be no lack of confidence after what has been a tremendous start for this side.
Back by Garrido. That's Mpenza's header.
Just a chance here for Stephen Ireland, just a little bit too high for him, and as you said, Rob, Clichy was making the tracking run to get it back to the goalkeeper, but A lot of enterprise so far from City. They haven't come here just to sit in and spoil it.
Fabregas. Now Clichy. This is Rosicky. Well, it was in the capital that Sven-Göran Eriksson's era started with a victory at West Ham. Here's Fabregas. Away by Ireland. This is Elano. Micah Richards. Garrido. Sagna stepped in, brushed aside by Petrov, and Flamini was involved as well. Sagna stayed down, but Adebayor here could give Dunn a problem. Fabregas has got into the middle, but Dunn, difficult obstacle to get around.
Good defending. Talked about his pace, and he's quick enough to get out wide really, really early there. Determined not to go to ground either. Did well to see it out. Problem here for Sagna. And given the warm-up injury to Senderos, the last thing that Arsene Wenger needs.
His own player as well. He just collided heavily with Matteo Flamini. Arsene Wenger has loaned out Johan Djourou to Birmingham, and he's got injured there. And as we mentioned, Senderos injured in the warm-up, Gallas out injured, Ibue still out injured, Diaby also on the casualty list at the moment. They're stacking up already. Here's Hleb with the throw. Alexander Hleb finding himself boxed in, and Sagna is back on for Arsenal. Headed away by Flamini, with whom Sagna collided, and he's still looking uncomfortable. Garrido. Hleb. Javier Garrido. This is Johnson. Petrov taking over. Now Garrido. Elano. Closing down by Toure. No-nonsense challenge from the man, but he cleaned out Van Persie.
I thought it was a bad challenge, Rob. You'll say he took some of the ball, but it was the follow-through that did the damage. A man's going to sweep just in front of the two centre-backs this afternoon. That's a type of protection that he wants to offer today, but I thought the follow-through was dangerous.
He sees yellow for it.
Well, Van Persie's fortunate. He's just off the ground there. He's not planted.
Third booking in a row already for Dietmar Hamann. And only the fourth match of City's season. There's Gilberto. Hleb. Back by Fabregas. This is Flamini. Clichy. Rosicky, now he's caught by Choluka.
I think that could have been a yellow card as well. Otherwise, Rosicky's on his way, breaking into a very good area. don't think there's any chance of Sir Luca taking any of the ball here. He's done here by Rosicki. And Chris Foy's done him a favour by keeping the yellow in his pocket.
Here's Fabregas with a free kick. Toure just behind him, and Dunn clears. It's in by Ireland, but Rosicki sweeps up. Free kick in there.
Not much in it, but certainly enough there. Nice feet by Stephen Ireland out the touchline. Give City a little breather. Starting to get a little bit deep.
Well, the problem's piling up here for Arsene Wenger, who lost Philip Senderos in the warm-up, and Bacary Sagna has indicated that he needs to come off here, so Denilson is stripped and ready to come on and take his place, which may mean a move for Matteo Flamini, presumably to right back. He's covered in defence before, although mainly at left back. There's Johnson. Gilberto away, and it's slid through to Mpenza, and he couldn't get his shot away.
Well, it was a lovely little feed from Stephen Ireland, I think it was, with his left foot. Mpenza, as usual, right on his toes, had to take it early and didn't really get it.
Well, here's the substitution. Sagna joining the ever-growing injury list for Arsenal. And all because of a collision with his own teammate, Matteo Flamini, who will now be the man to cover for him at right back. In personnel terms, it's Sagna off and Denilson on. Denilson, the young Brazilian, who's in only his second season here from Sao Paulo, and has shown in flashes what he can do. But Arsenal now with a real mix-and-match defence. Two players who would more normally occupy midfield roles, having to cover at the back. Flamini on the right side and Gilberto in the middle. Here's Van Persie. Good tussle that with Michael Richards, and the decision goes the Arsenal man's way.
Don't think Michael Richards wanted the pass from Michael Johnson in the first place. There was a little bit too much pace on it for him to get it under control and take the ball up the pitch.
Persie over the kick. It's a real disappointment. And Persie blocking Garrido's clearance with his arm.
I thought it hit his head, Rob. I think he's got a case there. I think his arm was extended, but I think it came off his head. Either way, it gets City out.
Toure's header out. Here's Mpenza. Garrido. Gilberto got a touch, but it's Elano who will come out behind it.
Should be doing better. Cliché's caught 2 against 1 there. Didn't want to lead the pass on to Stephen Ireland. Opened up beautifully for him, and that's a decent chance.
Almunia might have expected a sterner test than he got then from this man Elano. Well, looking to weave his magic. It's offside against Stephen Ireland, though.
Well, they've made 1 or 2 half chances. This is a decent chance here. You see Cliché trying to back off. He's caught 2 against 1. And that gives Elano all the time in the world here to get a shot away, and he should be doing better than that.
Ireland. Denilson. Gilberto. Now Danielson. Touré. Header away by Dunn. This is Hleb. Cleared by Dunn. Haman. Pushed wide by Mpenza to Petrov. Garrido's gone up ahead. Mpenza was looking for him.
I think he was offside anyway. Flag stayed down because he didn't take part, but once again, City build the game so well from the back. There's certainly a new confidence about this City side.
Confidence that Arsene Wenger will have expected from his studying of City's games so far. In which they've beaten West Ham, Derby and Manchester United without letting in a single goal. They haven't achieved 4 successive Premier League wins since the first year of the league. Between October and November '92, nearly 15 years ago. What a fillip it would give to the Sven-Göran Eriksson reign if it was to start with 4 consecutive victories. Tight then for Haman and Garrido. Touré. Here's Gilberto. Fabregas. Now Touré. Header away by Dunn. Helped on by Richards. That's Johnson. Gilberto. Van Persie.
I don't know what was given there, I've got to be honest. I don't know whether the appeal was for handball or offside. Didn't look offside to me. May have been given for handball.
I saw it, certainly no flag. Flamini. Richards. Haman. Headed back by Gilberto. Here's Adebayor. By Rosicky to Chorluka. Rosicki's won it back again, and Van Persie. It's goalkeeping.
I think Michael Richards is always getting round in the cover anyway. He knows that's going through to Kasper Schmeichel. Nice ball slipped in early here. But look at Richards. I think he's always favoured there, Richards. If he had to clear it, he could have. And he may well have got a shout there from Kasper Schmeichel that it was his anyway.
On Van Persie's part, but looks as though he did catch Kasper Schmeichel.
Well, I think to be fair to Robin Van Persie, he had pulled out. He knew he wasn't getting this. And Schmeichel's momentum, I think, just takes him onto the right boot there of Van Persie.
Can't help thinking about his old man, can you, when you see Kasper Schmeichel and Ian Wright and Peter Schmeichel? There's a great war of clashes of the past. Certainly won't spoil his youthful good looks, though, that from Van Persie. Sven-Göran Eriksson enjoying a joke with Hans Backer, his assistant, and life is good at the moment for the former England coach. He must be thinking after this week how well rid he is of those responsibilities. Clichy losing out to Stephen Ireland, and here's Mpenza with Elano having made a burst into the box. Johnson, Petrov.
Well, it's quite right to take it on. I don't think there's anything else on for him here but a shot on target. All came from Stephen Ireland, pressing the ball really well, high up the pitch on the far side. Eventually they work it into the space, and he has to take that on. He's going to do very well to score from that angle. But there's not really a pass on there. He has to put his foot through the ball.
Petrov, who was one of the many in this match away on international duty in the week. In fact, he was Bulgaria's captain in their defeat by Wales when he troubled the goalkeeper with a couple of free kicks. Philip Senderos, who joined the Arsenal casualty list even before kickoff today, he was named in the original 11 and then had to pull out because of an ankle problem. Here's Toure, Adebayor, Flamini, Richards. Failing to keep it in. Johnson. Petrov. Here's Garrido. On by Elano. Now Danielson. Rosicky. Adebayor. Showed plenty of it to Dunn, who in the end robbed him. Ireland has found Elano. And now Garrido. Ball from Milano.
Yeah, I think it's meant for Stephen Ireland. So far they haven't done too much wrong, though, City. Sven-Göran Eriksson will be well happy with the first half hour. Quite apart from the clean sheet, I think they've made the cleaner chances in the match.
Well, Arsene Wenger admitted to surprise at how well they'd done with this completely restructured team. As he said, when you bring in so many new faces so quickly, it can sometimes destabilise rather than unify. It seems to have had the opposite effect so far at Eastlands. Flamini, Flem, Van Persie. Crossed by Rosicky, and Hamann in the way. Rosicky, Danielson, beyond Kleb, and Richards dives to clear and finds Petrov.
Unhappy with himself, but the run gets City up at a time in the match where they looked a little bit troubled for the first time. Arsenal working the ball into the space for Rosicky at the back post, and City for the first time looked a little bit rattled.
Here's Rosicky. Danielson, Rosicky, Arsenal stepping it up here. Clichy's cross, beyond Adebayor, and Richards not prepared to take the chance of letting it run. It's a corner.
Yeah, no harm done. It's not the best ball in from Gael Clichy. There's no real pace on it. It's an awkward one for Richards more than anything else, and he did the right thing by getting it safe.
Arsenal turning up the heat. Gilberto forward for the corner. It's Richards away. Danielson challenging. Adebayor sticking out a leg. And cleared by Dietmar Hamann in the end. Kleb could have lost that in the sun, but he did enough to find Clichy. Kleb again. Good pressure from Johnson. Here's Mpenza. Flamini. Van Persie. Taking on Richards, who stuck to his guns, but it's Flamini. Good block. And City relieved to just get some breathing space now.
I think the free kick's soft at a time when Arsenal had a real head of steam building up. Starting to get at Manchester City now, starting to pick little holes in that back line for the first time in the game. Good direct run from Van Persie. Richards does enough. And once again, Arsenal had men over in the wide position here. And eventually they see it out, courtesy, I think, of a soft decision from Chris Foy.
Here's Ilano. Away by Fabregas. The man first to cut it out. And this is Rosicky. Adebayor. Arsenal have the bit between their teeth at the moment. But can they make it count? Clichy. Danielson. Arsenal sometimes looking vulnerable when their own moves breaks down, but Mpenza there straight offside.
Well, Gilberto and Toure do well to hold, and Mpenza just trying to bend his run. Looking across, he was certainly offside, no question about that. But he'll feel if he keeps making those runs, he'll get in eventually.
Here's Danielson. Gilberto. Kolo Toure. Here's Flamini. Fabregas. Kleb. Fabregas. Van Persie.
Good defending from Dunn. Knew Van Persie was always going to go back onto his left side there. Didn't fancy it on his right. Another good tackle from the City skipper.
Danielson. Rosicky. Gilberto. Fabregas. Typical Arsenal that, but Arsene Wenger trying to keep spirits up. And promising signs of his team building a good momentum here. Rosicky. Toure looking for the straight route towards Adebayor, who's offside.
Yeah, a little bit early, I think. Richard Dunn certainly had the arm up right away looking for offside.
Dunn. Now Toure. Kleb. Fabregas, away by Richards. Fabregas challenging for it again and finding Emmanuel Adebayor. Danielson. Rosicky will take on Chorluka, who's strong. Fabregas. Adebayor. Fabregas. Oh, Van Persie sliding in just a fraction out.
Well, it's great set-up play, first of all by Adebayor, who could have had a shot himself, but then fed Fabregas with this lovely little reverse. Looked as if he was going to have the shot, lovely little reverse. And if anything, the ball across goal is just a little bit too heavy. He's found the right angle, Fabregas. It's a great supporting run, but just a little bit too pacey.
Kleb. Adebayor!
Well, I guess a lot of time to get turned and get the shot away. Micah Richards on this occasion just caught on his heels, doesn't get to the ball quickly enough.
Arsenal now starting to come at City with wave after wave of attack. And it's Van Persie with a corner. Schmeichel got there and was fouled.
Well, if that's on Kasper Schmeichel, I think it's soft. Did well to come and deal with it initially.
Could it have been on Richard Dunn, perhaps?
May well have been, yeah, may well have been. They're piling into that back post area.
Well, like their manager, Manchester City seem nowhere without their tie now, as their owner, Thaksin Shinawatra. Short from Haman, he put Richards in a bit of trouble there against Adebayor.
That's a good free kick to give away from Michael Richards. Put right in bother there by the slack pass from Haman. And he'll quite happily give away a free kick, not getting a yellow card for it. Chance for City to get goal side, when otherwise Adebayor would have been breaking into space.
Fabregas's kick, and Schmeichel came and lost it. And he was in trouble then because he was surrounded. Adebayor and Gilberto were both there putting pressure on the young goalkeeper, but he got away with it.
It's the first semblance of a mistake from the goalkeeper there.
Challenged by Rosicky, stopping Johnson from progressing. Here's the area where maybe City fans might have had a bit of concern about the goalkeeper on crosses. As to whether he's as imposing as perhaps a more experienced goalkeeper would be.
I think he'd have been much better trying to punch that rather than try and take it into the gloves. He's not the biggest, under real pressure physically. It would have been better just getting a fist on it. But he hasn't done too much wrong at all, Kasper Schmeichel.
Got the nod ahead of Joe Hart because the other contender for the slot was injured pre-season. Sometimes you need a little bit of good luck as well as ability. Arsene Wenger himself has said that the decision between Lehmann and Almunia was a very close one to call as to who should be his number one for this season. That was Danielson. Rosicki's ball in, Van Persie. And Schleb kept it in. Flamini. Clichy. Rosicky. Van Persie. It's Clichy's cross. And Adebayor up against the goalkeeper who's clawed it away. Schleb. Away by Dunn.
Oh, again, question marks over the way that Kasper Schmeichel tried to deal with the cross. Again, it wasn't the best cross from Clichy, just hung it up at the back post. And young Schmeichel was flapping a bit.
Having seen that, they'll test him again. Clichy, and again he's punched it clear. Adebayor is an unsettling presence for any goalkeeper.
Well, Arsenal will certainly feel that there is a weakness there in terms of the way he's trying to deal with cross balls, and we'll see quite a few more, I'm sure.
Flamini. Van Persie tried the header back for Adebayor, too much on it. Petrov. Toure. Ireland. And Penza. Stephen Ireland up against Gilberto.
A terrific tackle. Gets Arsenal on the front foot at a time when City had committed midfield players.
Fabregas. Van Persie. Rosicky. Lovely build-up from Arsenal. Van Persie!
Well, I can see why Van Persie is not happy here at all. He's looking for Adebayor to be busting a gut to get on the end of this. has a look up. Nobody going in there. Adebayor holding his position. He's looking for the pullback. And this is the previous spill here from Kasper Schmeichel that eventually City managed to see out.
Old story at the moment for Arsenal. Plenty of good play, plenty of good build-up. So far, Schmeichel remains unbeaten. Here's Garrido. Fabregas. Rosicky. Clichy. Rosicky, Fabregas. Adebayor. Van Persie. Kleb's cross.
Well, time for City just to try and keep it for a few minutes, take a little bit of the heat out of the game. Nobody getting their foot on it at all.
Penza's linked up with Petrov. Toure muscling his way into that. Danielson. Schlepp. Fabregas. Choluka cover.
Good cover. Two fullbacks have looked very good today. Both very comfortable with the ball at their feet. Both can pick a pass.
Garrido, the player who came in after relegation with Real Sociedad. Here's Van Persie. Rosicky's strike against Vedran Choluka. And Dunn whacks it to safety. Two minutes have been added on in the first half. Ireland and Penza. Toure. Flamini. Kleb. Fabregas. Van Persie.
Certainly picked the right pass, just a little bit heavy. Slight delay there before he slid up the outside of Richard Dunn. And just a little bit too heavy, certainly onside there. Micah Richards, the deepest of the City defenders. Absolutely vital for City that they see this first half out without conceding.
Here's Dunn. Now Choluka. Ireland kept it in for Johnson. Danielson. Fabregas. Van Persie. Fabregas over the top to Flamini. So battle to keep it in, and Garrido in the end couldn't.
Did well Flamini to make up the ground on that side. The surface has been very heavily watered, otherwise I think he might have been able to get a shot away there. As it was, did well to keep it in.
Yeah! like this? Yeah?
Imagine a Britain without score. Men would have nothing to talk about. With no football to discuss, men are forced to talk to women. Thankfully, this frightening vision can never become a reality. Not while Score comes free with the news of the world every Sunday. Britain's favourite football pullout, covering every piece of action from the Premier League to non-league. Thank heaven for Score.
Come on, drivers, challenge Churchill.
Hi, kid. I saved £74 on the insurance for my car.
Oh, yes!
OK, bank holiday. Ideas?
I'm off to Spain.
No offers?
Ah, gotcha. OK?
£120 off this 19-inch HD-ready digital LCD TV with built-in DVD player, now only $229. And £200 off this superb silver Samsung side-by-side fridge freezer with chilled water dispenser.
Sounds good to me, Danny boy.
Hurry offers end Tuesday. Curry's with you in mind.
There have been 56 deaths in 1408. It's an evil room.
I'm just hallucinating. 1408.
Busca 3 barcos.
¿3 barcos?
Sorry, but we can't stop pure bad luck striking. And we can't protect you from the whims of Mother Nature. That's just the way it is. We can make it easier to cope with whenever it happens. At Norwich Union Direct, we're there 24 hours a day to deal with your claim. We can provide accredited tradesmen to repair your home. And we can save you 15% when you buy online. Join us and we can beat your buildings and contents renewal premium or give you £60 cash back. Norwich Union Direct. We just make it easier.
So plenty of chances in that first half of the Emirates. I can promise you plenty more of those in the second too. But 0-0 at the break between Arsenal and Man City. Now at 10:15, 7 matches for you to choose from in the match choice. Do join us for that later on. John Solarco will be joining me to talk about all the day's action. Right now, though, let's get back to the Emirates. Commentators Davy Provin and Rob Hawthorne.
Manchester City kick off the second half, the ground where there hasn't been a goalless draw in the Premier League. Certainly the way Arsenal built up momentum in that first half. You'd expect them to create more chances again in the second half. This is Fabregas under pressure from Milano. Manchester City have looked dangerous themselves on the break. This is Van Persie. Now Rosicky. Percy couldn't take it, but Adebayor has. It deflects. Corner.
Well, again, I think City take a long time to react here as Adebayor goes to the ball. Micah Richards is starting. Look, Micah Richards standing off him. Eventually, he comes and puts the squeeze on. But he gave Adebayor a long time here to get turned and get his head up. And if they continue to do that, they'll lose one.
Arsenal starting the second half in the same vein that they ended the first. Dunn meets the corner. Danielson with the header back to Clichy. Here's Flamini. Gilberto's ball up towards Adebayor. Ireland away. Here's Ilano. Away goes Petrov with Mpenza in the middle. Mpenza's pulled away to the far side. It's behind him.
No, not easy for Petrov. Mpenza was the only target there. He went front post, tried to peel off back. See Petrov looking up there, trying to see where Mpenza is going. Eventually pulls off to the back post, but it's a poor ball in.
Here's Danielson. Clichy. Gilberto. Toure. Danielson. Here's Rosicki. Van Persie. Flamini, and he's offside. Adebayor.
Couldn't have been too much in that. Played right on the shoulder of Richard Dunn and Micah Richards throughout the game here. He's gone half a yard. It's a good line City hold. Richard Dunn certainly had his hand up immediately, felt it was an easy decision for the assistant.
Arsene Wenger, whose contract runs for the remainder of this season, his future beyond that still at the moment unresolved. Danielson. Here's Van Persie.
Just asking too much of Danielson there. But Van Persie now getting a lot of space. He's continually dropping off. It's really up to Hamann and Johnson to make sure he's not getting too much time to pick the ball up in space.
Flag went up against Mpenza. He'd been offside a while before that, and the referee's played a good advantage for Arsenal. This is Adebayor. Now Fleb. Taking on Garrido. Adebayor. Good block by Hamann.
Certainly was. Two central defenders weren't getting out to the ball there, so it's a good tackle.
Garrido. Petrov. Wasteful ball from him to Clichy. And now here's Danielson. Fabregas. Adebayor. Now Fleb. Taking on Petrov. Can he pull it across? Done in front of the goalkeeper, did enough.
Great feet from Blair, but I thought he could have played it in just a little bit earlier. With his right foot. Eventually Richard Dunn got himself into a good position to close down the front post. But again, signs that Arsenal are starting to get at Manchester City.
Here's Chaluka. Johnson. Richard Dunn. Here's Johnson. Hamann. Petrov. Garrido on the outside of him now. Javier Garrido's cross, met by Toure.
It's got to be a better ball in. He did well to get up the outside of Petrov there. First time he's got himself into that area. Poor final ball though.
Johnson. Chaluka. Johnson. Played against Danielson by Elano. Rosicki. Fabregas. Here's Van Persie. Trying to steer it round for Adebayor, but Dunn was quick, had the run covered anyway.
Well, Adebayor's getting a bit of stick from the crowd who felt like he just chucked it there, but he packed it in. I think Richard Dunn was quick enough anyway to make sure he was getting there first. But Adebayor had no real appetite to try and challenge Richard Dunn in the sprint.
Rosicky. Clichy. Danielson. Luka just fending off Clichy, finding deep Mahaman.
I don't know why Alexander Hleb, when he broke on the right-hand side, just didn't knock it in here with the right foot. I don't know why he checks back onto his left. Either way, Richard Dunn did really well. Positioning was spot on.
Garrido. Fabregas. Here's Hleb. Now Richards. To be on his guard there with Rosicky around. Fabregas. Van Persie. Total breakdown there between he and Rosicky. Here's Gilberto. Flamini. Cut out by Haman. Well won by Danielson. Here's Rosicky. Hleb. Flamini. Adebayor. Rosicky. Fabregas.
Richard Dunn again, right out in his face.
Milano has Petrov here to his left, and Penza going through the middle. Ireland. Now Haman. Johnson. Garrido's cross.
Decent ball in. Gilberto did well at full stretch there to get it away. First real sign of a threat in this second half from Manchester City. That's a good ball in. It's not one that Almunia can come and take.
Lucas throw. Ireland across.
I think he's got to pull it back. That's a bit too much of Penza to get across the front of Almunia there. But at least City are now playing the game in the Arsenal half of the pitch.
Adebayor's touch. Rosicky. Not quite done again. They just can't get round it. Haman. Elano. Ireland. Here's Penza. Haman. Ireland. Cleared by Clichy. Garrido, Petrov, Johnson.
Good spell for City. This is the way they started the game, giving Arsenal a few problems.
Elano. Toure. Flamini was giving it away. Haman. Choluka. Johnson. Elano. Petrov!
Oh, he's so unlucky, and I've no doubt in my mind he's trying to score there. He's not trying to feed anyone in with that amount of pace in the ball. He's just trying to hit this with cut spin and find the inside of that far post. But he's not far out either. A lovely little reverse here from Elano to set him up, and that is a very decent effort.
Well, the balance of the game has tipped in Manchester City's favour. They're making all the running now. There's growing anxiety here at the Emirates. It's Ireland. Struck against Elano by Clichy. Can Arsenal restore a bit of faith? It's Rosicky. Adebayor shows for it. Clichy. Adebayor. Goal kick given.
Oh, should have been a corner. For me, it's Choluka who got the last touch there. Arsenal felt they could have had a free kick against Richard Dunne as well. Choluka down, but there's no doubt in my mind to get the final touch here. Just there.
Vedran Choluka, who injured himself in coming out to make that challenge against Emmanuel Adebayor. It's been a frustrating return to the first team so far. A spray on the knee and Choluka back on his feet.
Oh, what a terrific afternoon Richard Dunne has had so far, and he's had to. He's in there with a young goalkeeper and three youngsters beside him in that back line. But so often he has been the man to step out and make that kind of block at the precise moment.
Well, he's really turned his life around, Richard Dunne, since his days at Everton and his early days at Manchester City under Kevin Keegan. And he's reaping the rewards of that, and so to a Manchester City for whom he's now playing under his fourth different manager at the club. Here's Dietmar Hamann. Low by Gilberto. Sven-Göran Eriksson, who is one win away from the best start by a Manchester City manager for 95 years. His team have half an hour left.
Oh, I just wonder what his critics would make of that, Rob, if he pulled it off. And whatever you think of the job he did at the FA, he hasn't done much wrong in club management, that's for sure.
Has the trophies to show for it. Here's Elano. It's a positive run. Johnson guides it out to Petrov, who did go for set-up that time, and Gilberto cut it out.
Terrific clearance. What a good spell for City.
Johnson. Elano. Johnson was challenged. A flailing boot from Kolo Toure.
Well, Chris Foy's only 10 yards away. Strong claim there for a penalty from Michael Johnson. Nice little 1-2 to get him in. I think if there is contact, it's outside the box initially anyway. But it was clumsy at best there from Kolo Toure.
Well, one of the things that Sven-Göran Eriksson was criticised for in his time as England manager was his inability to change the game with substitutions, but I wonder if he will be Starting to turn his mind now as to whether the players he has available to him on the bench, notably Giovanni, who came on to score against West Ham and who scored when he started the match against Manchester United, whether he might yet have an influence. Just take them that extra step. Lay off there by Ireland, and Penza's through. Emil and Penza! Great save from Almunia.
Certainly was. I thought he was onside, and I think Gilberto played him onside. It's a good first-time pass, I think, from Stephen Ireland here. And I think it's Gilberto. May well have been Clichy who was deepest for Arsenal. Either way, it's a terrific save from Almunia, who's right out in his face here. First real clean chance Penza's had. And that's a very good save.
Well, Almunia made himself big in the one-on-one and Penza had that clear sight of an opening. But what a good spell this is for Manchester City, as Petrov delivers a corner. And Rosicky gets it away, but the pressure invited back on them. This is Garrido. And by Dunn. Here's Toure. Fabregas up towards Van Persie. It's away there by Richards. Garrido. One from him by Robin Van Persie. Flamini. Kleb. Fabregas. Kleb pulls it back.
Again, I think it's got to come in earlier. Robbie could have put in with his right foot again and wanted a little bit more time on it. I think once you get into these wide areas, strikers are making runs. They normally only get one run. It has to come in early.
Here's Flamini. Fabregas. Adebayor. Rosicky. Corner.
Just wonder if Kasper Schmeichel, if it is hung up in the 6-yard box, whether he'll have the appetite to come for this. It's a bit ropey in that first half when coming for crosses. They could do with some protection here.
Rolled in towards Rosicky. Now Fabregas looks to stand one up for Adebayor, who won the header, and Toure tried to steer it round but couldn't.
That's Michael Johnson, who's watertight there on Toure as the ball was knocked down onto the edge of the 6-yard box. And with back to goal, there's not a lot he can do with this. Johnson picking up really tight. Well won by Adebayor to knock it down. Takes something special to score from there, though.
Bit of a surprise ploy perhaps there by Arsenal, as Kasper Schmeichel was indeed unchallenged. Here's Toure. Flamini. Danielson. Kleb. Flamini. Rosicky. Great build-up from Arsenal. Kleb. Yes, it's given. He took a look at his assistant, the referee, but decides that Richards' intervention was a foul, and he points to the spot.
I'm just surprised that Chris Foy himself didn't give it. Why had to refer to his assistant? Looked pretty clean cut to me. Well, he gets nothing of the ball there, Micah Richards. You can see his reaction as well. Well, he knows that's a penalty. Terrific run by Kleb, and that is nailed on for me. And it just surprised me that Chris Foy wouldn't make that decision on his own. Perhaps the angle wasn't there to call it, but the assistant was in no doubt. And there's no doubt in my mind it's the correct decision.
Well, John Flynn was the man who helped Chris Foy to make his mind up there. And Kasper Schmeichel, who has not yet conceded a Premier League goal this season, has to face up to Robin Van Persie, who's already scored one from the spot this year. on the opening weekend against Fulham. Can Van Persie be the first man to put a Premier League goal past Kasper Schmeichel? Schmeichel makes himself look big. Van Persie, oh, it's saved! The Danes' dream start to life in the Premier League continues. Remarkable.
Well, it certainly is remarkable. I've got to say, I think Kasper Schmeichel is a yard and a half off the line when the ball is struck. And initially I thought it was a reaction from the assistant on the goal line. He comes out, it's a poor penalty. But try telling that to Kasper Schmeichel. What a story this youngster continues to write this season.
Can Arsenal score anyway? Adebayor, Van Persie, just seconds after the penalty miss, forces another good save from the goalkeeper.
One of the few times in the match that Van Persie's managed to get a clean strike away under pressure from Richard Dunn, but can't quite get it back across Schmeichel.
Well, there certainly did seem to be a move outwards then by the goalkeeper. He spread himself in front of the Dutchman to make himself look big as Van Persie was lining up the kick. Fabregas, this time it's Richards who protects his goalkeeper. Fabregas. Kleb. Fabregas!
It's a good save. Ball certainly moved. Yeah, you see his height indicating that there, Kasper Schmeichel. Took a big move in front of him. And all you can ask there that he gets his gloves up and gets that safe, and he did well.
Golden gloves at the moment for Kasper Schmeichel, although it was with his feet that he saved the penalty kick from Robin Van Persie. Danielson delivers with a corner. That's the area where he seems to need protection, and on this occasion it's offered up by Dietmar Hamann. Well, if he has looked vulnerable, it's when crosses have been flung in there. They've left him reasonably unchallenged from corners. Johnson's got in between he and Robin Van Persie. And again, it's dealt with at the near post. A disappointing kick from Danielson. Rosicky, Adebayor. Fabregas. Cleared by Richards. Here's Flamini. Kleb. Van Persie. Danielson.
Oh, what an afternoon for Kasper Schmeichel once again. And this is the biggest moment of them all so far for him. Certainly off his line. They all are these days. But the assistant is on the goal line. See him there. I don't know what he's indicating there, whether he was looking to have it retaken. Either way, Chris Foy was more than happy to wave play on.
Same assistant to whom Chris Foy looked for advice when it came to awarding the penalty in the first place. Rosicky. Dunn. Chorluka. On by Stephen Ireland. Toure. Fabregas. Dunn gets enough on it.
Almost caught Richard Dunn. Been a terrific contest between Dunn and Adebayor. And so far, Dunn ahead in points.
Dunn. Here's Rosicky. Fabregas has gone down and stayed down, which is a worry for Arsenal. Thomas Rosicky. Van Persie rescues it. Sets up Kleb. And it's blocked by Richards. In comes Flamini. But Johnson was fouled.
Just blocked off there, I think, by Alexander Kleb on the far side. Once again, I think Kleb could put it in with his right foot, put it in early, but too often he's checked back onto his left.
Well, are City confident that they have the wherewithal here to win the game? Rolando Bianchi is about to be thrown on. Richards. Fabregas. Interception by Chorluka, but Rosicky won it back. Fabregas. Kleb. Fabregas!
Well, this time it is a good pick out from Kleb on the right-hand side. But it's Chorluka who makes the vital interception here as it comes in. As Fabregas takes the shot, look at Chorluka. Does just enough to put the pressure on. So Fabregas isn't getting a clean shot at goal here. Terrific cover from the fullback.
They've got the goalkeeper, they need the goal scorer now, Manchester City. Could Rolando Bianchi be the man? Adebayor. Denilson's cross. It's Robin van Persie. Richards just stood off him for a second, but then closed him down.
Good defending by Richards. I don't think Van Persie had anyone to pick out. Rosicky was looking for. I don't think it's close enough for Van Persie to pick him out there. And I think Van Persie does the right thing, trying to take it down and get the shot away.
It'll be a double change from Manchester City when it happens. Giovanni will come on as well. Here's Haman. Ireland. Ilano. It's a great run from the Brazilian. No foul though by Fabregas, and Gilberto brought it clear. Gilberto. Here's Adebayor up against Dunn. He's passed him.
Good cover again. Once again, it's the right fullback, Chorluka, who gets round. Adebayor, nice little shift to get in behind Richard Dunn on his right side. And but for the attention of the fullback again, he had plenty of time there to go and score.
Well, here come the Manchester City changes. Rolando Bianchi coming on for Emil Mpenza, who's had the clearest sight of goal of anybody for Manchester City, forcing a save from Manuel Almunia. And Giovanni replacing his fellow Brazilian Ilano. With 15 minutes to go. And Giovanni did score after coming on at Upton Park as part of a double substitution. Nena Manuaha, who was also thrown on that day, helped to set it up. And the changes don't end there. Emmanuel Adebayor coming off. And Eduardo da Silva coming on for the last quarter of an hour. A home debut for Eduardo. Former club and international colleague of Chorluka in the City defence. Here's Bianchi. Eduardo already looking to disturb that City backline. Gilberto. Fabregas. Bianchi with renewed vigour, putting himself about.
Well, we'll see how the City shape settles in a moment, but it looks as if Sven-Göran Eriksson is trying to win this. He's got two up now. Before it was Ilano in a withdrawn role, but he's got two up. Giovanni up beside Bianchi now.
Clichy. Fabregas. Eduardo. Rosicky. Giovanni. Good tackle by Denilson. Giovanni though retrieves. by Gilberto. Was Giovanni looking to put Petrov through, and it's blocked by Flamini.
Just wouldn't come down for him, otherwise he could have got a better shot away. Good early baller from Giovanni to get him in behind.
Fabregas. Van Persie. Can he get away from Richards?
Great defending. Such quick feet, Micah Richards. Van Persie looked favourite there to get onto his left side and go and test Schmeichel. But great pressure from the City centre-back. I've seen Van Persie do this so often, just shift it onto his left side and go and get the shot away. But Richards quick enough to apply real pressure. Good defending.
Choluka. Johnson. Clichy. Danielson. Ireland. Johnson. Here's Giovanni.
Oh, it's a waste. Men over on the far side there. Just a almost tired looking pass there from Michael Johnson.
Fabregas. Rosicky. Here's Flamini. Eduardo. Rosicky. Petrov. Ireland. Flags up. Bianchi offside.
Oh, it didn't have to be. He's widest, he's looking across. He does give them a good target, City, if they want to miss out the midfield at this stage and play off him.
Just over 10 minutes left. Fabregas. Schleb. Fabregas! The angle looked against him, but he's the first player this season to find a route past Kasper Schmeichel, and Arsenal at last get their goal.
Gotta say, Rob, I don't know how he scored. He appeared to have nowhere to go there as he took the pass. It may have gone through Micah Richards' legs, but such was the power on it. It was always beating Kasper Schmeichel. And at long last, they picked away. At long last, to get the breakthrough. Micah Richards looked reasonably well positioned here as he stepped out. Well, he turned his back a little bit. I just wonder whether it went through his legs. No, I think it's gone past him on his left-hand side. He turned side on here. And the power is such that Kasper Schmeichel just can't get his hands up quickly enough.
Well, after 350 minutes of Premier League football without conceding a goal, Kasper Schmeichel is finally beaten by Cesc Fabregas. And maybe now Manchester City are heading for their first defeat of the season, having got so far, and with the momentum that seemed to be building in their favour. But Arsenal's relentless pressure finally brings its reward. Clichy. Now Rosicky. And he's onside, Eduardo.
Well, just as well for Micah Richards, there's no one coming in on his blind side there. I'm just surprised that he didn't go to Rosicky there. Another one would certainly finish the game off at this stage.
Here's Garrido. Petrov. Gilberto away. Now Flem. Dunn challenging strongly with Van Persie and winning a free kick that Ireland has taken out of position.
Well, this is where Bianchi, I think, comes into the frame for Manchester City. Clock running down, and even the best of them tend to go long in this situation, and he'll give them a very good target, the substitute.
Richards. Stretching clearance from Flamini, who pulled up after making it. Here's Eduardo. Rosicky. Thomas Rosicky, good save! Flab!
Well, they really are on the ropes now, City. Terrific width now from Arsenal. Rosicky does well here. Just a little shift gets the shot away so early. Schmeichel does well as you could expect from that kind of effort. And Kleb is a fraction out from the other side. And what a finish we have to this game.
Well, he got good power in his clearance from the save then, Kasper Schmeichel. The fence in front of him is starting to look a bit ragged though, and the pressure is becoming a bit more exacting now. Eduardo. Sleb. Eduardo's got him behind Dunn, but he managed to just nick it away in time. And here's Giovanni. Petrov. It's Giovanni.
Didn't get it. Did well enough to make the space on his right-hand side, but it's a poor effort. Previous to that, Bianchi screaming for the ball to come in from the left-hand side.
Well, both sides want to make substitutions, but they're going to have to wait. Alex Song to come on for Arsenal, Michael Ball for Manchester City. Eduardo. Schmeichel just keen to get on with it. Finds Garrido. Johnson. Header away by Clichy. Here's Giovanni. Nicked away from Petrov by Kleb. He didn't see him coming.
Didn't get a shout either, Rob. That's why he's so disgusted there. Nobody alerting him to the presence.
Here's Fabregas. Danielson. Sleb. Van Persie. Eduardo. Given away. Schmeichel aiming one for Bianchi. Being lauded around the Emirates. It had been very subdued Emirates up until that point. There had been a fair amount of anxiety around, certainly with the way City started the second half. Stephen Ireland, the man making way for Michael Ball. Ball, a player who won his only England cap in Sven-Göran Eriksson's first match in charge against Spain. Robin Van Persie. A personally disappointing day for him with a missed penalty, of course. But he scored a couple in the previous Premier League games, and now he's making way for Alex Song. Clichy's kick. Seb.
That did well. At this stage in the game, that's priceless. Clock ticking down. Just wonder if Arsenal will put it in the box. It looks as if they are going to put it in the box. But there'll be no hurry to take the corner.
No rush for the man whose goal may well end up deciding this, says Fabregas.
Arsene Wenger's out saying, take it short, saying to Alexander Pleb, go and take it short, keep it in the corner.
And they've played it between them. Fabregas just teasing Garrido and winning another. Sliced clear by Dietmar Hamann. Here's Gilberto. Richards. His presence has given Garrido license to get forward and stay forward. It's cleared by Toure. This is Giovanni. Garrido's cross met by Song. Toure. Flamini.
Oh, that's soft and gives City a chance to get the ball forward.
Kick in towards Bianchi.
Did well to get across the front of Gilberto, but just couldn't get enough on it to knock it down for Richards, who'd come forward. This is a penalty appeal earlier on for the challenge on Michael Johnson, a challenge that I think may have got a free kick had it happened in the centre circle. And this is the biggest moment in the match. Micah Richards turns sideways, and he's certainly punished.
Well, City still have 3 minutes left to try and find an equaliser, maintain their unbeaten start to the season, because that's how much time has been added on. Here's Sven-Göran Eriksson heading for his first defeat in the Premier League. Here's Fabregas. Through to Eduardo. Danielson.
Don't think he struck it cleanly. I think Kasper Schmeichel was always getting across. Well, we've got to go long now.
Petrov. Hamann. Garrido's cross. Giovanni took a header at it, but it deflected behind for a corner.
That looked like a chance here at the front post for Giovanni, got nothing on it. Good pacey ball in.
Isn't this a familiar sight? A Schmeichel going into the opposing penalty area. His dad once scored a goal for Aston Villa. Swept in by Petrov, he's there! Oh! Well, what a moment that could have been!
You've got to hand it to him. All the conviction in the world there. He's certainly got something on it. He's never going to beat Almunia. But he's up right in among it.
Well, that would have been just about the way to cap a memorable day for Kasper Schmeichel, a penalty save. He could have turned goal scorer as well then. And maybe with this hold-up, Manchester City's hopes of rescuing even a point are just disappearing.
It's a bit of cramp there for Mathieu Flamini, who's going to have to go off. City have possession as we look back on the penalty save. One last chance here for City to get the ball in the box.
Flamini's back on for Arsenal. Here's Richard Dunn. Up towards Richards. And now can Arsenal produce the rousing finish? It's Hleb. Rosicki. Denilson fancies a crack. Schmeichel equal to it though. Have City got time for one last chance? They haven't. Manchester City are finally beaten. Kasper Schmeichel is finally beaten. Despite a penalty save for Sven-Göran Eriksson's team, he kept out that effort from Van Persie, but he couldn't keep out the strike from the angle from Cesc Fabregas, even though Schmeichel himself tried desperately to get an equaliser, going forward for a header from a corner right near the end of the contest. But Manchester City's 100% record is over. Arsenal still unbeaten at the start of the campaign. They've beaten Manchester City by 1-0.
I thought we will score a goal because I saw that the team was keeping their way and going with a lot of determination. And I know we have enough quality to score one, but I must say we played against a good Man City team who defended very well, and we needed a lot of determined attitude.
We could have scored 1-0, but Arsenal won it, and congratulations to them. Now it's just to see the reaction, the first defeat for the season. But I'm sure it will be good in the future, and we will go on working as we're doing, and we will go on playing good football. I'm sure about that.
So, disappointments for Sven, but what a terrific game that was. The upshot is Manchester City conceded their first goal and lost their first game of the season. For Arsenal, patience proved a virtue. Now, after the break, it's Take Your Pick time when we go interactive on the second part of Football First, Match Choice.
Carling Cup action heads for Bristol. First, it's Rovers against big spending West Ham. Tuesday, 7:30, Sky Sports 2 and HD2. Then Wednesday, Sven's Manchester City.
Oh, yes! And Sven-Göran Eriksson's era is off to a flyer.
Face Bristol City. In association with Sky Bet, a Carling Cup double starts Tuesday, 7:30, Sky Sports 2 and HD2.
Compact, agile, yet tough. And officially the safest car for adults ever tested by Euro NCAP. Introducing the all-new Nissan Qashqai, the hatchback redefined.
Let the power of nature into your home. Switch to Go Green, the greener energy package from PowerGen. Call now on 0800 450 888.
2 or more cars in your house?
Multi-car! Multi-car!
With Admiral Multi-Car, you can insure all the cars in your house on one policy, and you could save over £200.
£200?
Yes, and the savings starts straight away.
Ooh!
So go to admiral.com or call 0800 600 800.
0800 600 800.
Admiral Multi-Car saves you time and money.
See how much you could save with Admiral Multi-Car.
Sorry, but we can't stop pure bad luck striking. And we can't protect you from the whims of Mother Nature. That's just the way it is. We can make it easier to cope with whenever it happens. At Norwich Union Direct, we're there 24 hours a day to deal with your claim. We can provide accredited tradesmen to repair your home. And we can save you 15% when you buy online. Join us and we can beat your buildings and contents renewal premium or give you £60 cashback. Norwich Union Direct. We just make it easier.
Do it now!
I want this guy to go away for the rest of his life. A senseless murder.
I'm dismissing this case.
He killed my son. Gone unpunished. An ordinary man.
I'm coming for the rest of your family.
With no choice. I need guns. From the director of Saw.
I really don't care what happens to me. I just need them to be safe.
Kevin Bacon. Death sentence.
Oh, yeah. Superb body.
Yeah, very nice.
No, I mean, not that you will be.
Do you think I could buy a case?
Thank you very much.
I wouldn't.
Better make that a couple of cases. You're lucky everything I buy is interest-free for 10 months.
I'll put these in the car. No, bad car. Bad car! Bad car! Ah, yes! No!
What's the damage?
0% on purchases and balance transfers for 10 months with Barclaycard.
Weekend 3 of the Barclays Premier League started with Bolton Wanderers bottom, the defending champions 16th, Wigan 3rd and Manchester City top. On Match Choice, a first chance to see if normal order would be restored. Extended highlights of 7 Barclays Premier League games available to you right now. Screen 1 is the lively meeting between East Midlands and West Midlands. Derby suffered at Spurs last Saturday, while Birmingham had only 1 point from 3 games so far. Both were desperate for a win today, and it showed. Portsmouth had lost all 8 Premier League meetings with Chelsea. But if anyone was capable of pulling a rabbit out of a hat, it was Harry Redknapp. New boy Giuliano Belletti featured for the Blues. It's on screen 2. On screen 3, little Sammy's Bolton started the day rock bottom and were the only team without a point. So a win was vital against a Reading team who'd made light of a difficult start. Casey Keller was back in the Premier League on screen 4. He made his Fulham debut in what proved to be a dramatic game against an Aston Villa side looking for a first win of the season. On screen 5, we're at Upton Park.
with a new generation of engines. And Sport Switch for a more responsive drive. Astra. Fall in love with driving again.
Isn't it great when you just get to where you need to be?